Happy New Year's to you. Happy New Year's to you. We're now in 2024. Happy New Year's to you. Welcome home, all you oddballs. I'm Mike Heath, your host of the Average Oddcast. We've been off for a while, and now we're back and we're ready to attack the new year. How long can you say Happy New Year? That's what I really would like to know. Is that something you can say into February? Or is that something you really got to cut off once you get to January, the middle of January? Is that something that that really needs to be nipped in the bud? I've got these ski goggles on because I'm in solidarity with the people. I'm not sure if you've heard about this, but it's really tragic. There's something that happened. I'm not sure where it is, but I've got video footage of this. Not to, golly, I hate to heap something on you like this at the beginning of the year, but it's something I think you should know about. That's right. Here's video footage of a ski lift going what the video calls berserk, and what's happened is that it's literally shooting people off at the turnaround where you would get onto it. As you hear, they're not speaking English, so I don't think it's in America, or they're in America and they're literally just throwing people off like rag dolls, like your little doll growing up. At this point, there's lift chairs just piling up at this turnaround where you would normally get on, and people are seeing what happened and yelling at the people coming down. And they're jumping off the ski lift at like 10 to 15 feet to avoid this pileup. I think there's a person that failed to jump off, and they're just getting, I don't know if this is real. I don't know if this is fake. This would be a crazy doctored video because it looks so real. And I wanted to warn you. I didn't want to put fear in your life, but just if you're going out to the mountains, golly, be prepared. Because my theory is that this is AI. Really, AI is in cahoots really with itself. Maybe this was just like an AI beta test, really just see what they could do to us. And maybe this is part of their plot. I don't know. These are the things that are happening. This happened. This video was posted on November 23rd of last year. So it's been a while. You know, we've been off the grid, and I've been wanting to get the word out on this, but it just took a while to do. And I'm glad to be back. I don't know. I don't want to heap on bad news, and I really want to lift our spirits, actually, because there's a ton of good news happening in the world as this year is turning over. We're turning a new leaf. Happy New Year to you. Really, it's a joy to be together. Something I'm really excited about in 2024 is something beautiful has happened. What has happened is that McDonald's, that's right, the Golden Arches is opening a new chain called CosMcs that will focus on coffee and other drinks. And it's theorized that this is viewed as a challenge to Starbucks and Dunkin'. Because you know the phrase that everybody says, America runs on Dunkin'. There's a Starbucks on every corner. And what McDonald's says, enough with that. Look, we're nourishing this country with our chicken nugs and our Big Macs and our McChickens, our delicious McChickens. We are nourishing this country. Why don't we also hydrate, dehydrate, and rehydrate this country as well? So what they have done is they've opened the first CosMcs in Illinois on December 7th. What a beautiful day for America. Happy birthday to my little sister. That's her birthday. Congratulations, America. You've got another beautiful soul walking this earth. A bad day for America because that was Pearl Harbor Day. But also a great day because that was the first CosMcs to open, and they're hoping to open additional restaurants in 2024, the year that we are currently in as I record this. And I've got good news. Maybe this is going to come to a city near you. I hope there will be a CosMcs in Seattle. I would love to be a patron of CosMcs, and that's just something that I'm really looking forward to. We got a ton of good news this year, really, is that in addition to that, we've also learned that dogs can drive. You know, there's a phrase that when pigs fly, well, how about when dogs drive? And that's happening in New Zealand. Listen to this.
Have to use the brakes, steering wheel, and so on. And after that, they get behind the wheel and drive with an instructor for further training. You see, most of these dogs are strays, and not a lot of people were adopting them. So the organization came up with a campaign idea where they would teach dogs how to drive so they can show people how smart and cool they are, and that way they could increase adoption rates. This dog learned how to drive in 47 days. An organization in New Zealand.
47 days, folks. You're halfway through January. You're halfway through maybe your day, or maybe you're halfway through life. Maybe you're just halfway through the hour at this point, and you're feeling down. You're feeling discouraged. You're wondering, am I good enough? Will I ever achieve what I want to achieve? And I want you to be encouraged that a dog learned how to drive in 47 days. So it might take you a little bit longer to do what you're trying to do. But also, pull over, sit down. If you're on a walk with your dog, take a seat on the sidewalk. If you're driving, pull over, maybe hop over in the passenger seat. If you're on the Stairmaster trying to get those glutes toned for the swimsuit season, take a seat, pause that workout, and just think about your life and be encouraged. Because maybe you can't do it yet, but you will be able to do what you want to do if you have that dog in you. Do you have that dog in you is really what I want to ask you. Be encouraged. Even if you don't feel like you have that dog in you, you got more of that cat energy. Maybe you're a cat guy, and that's okay. We can't all be dog people. But if you do have that dog in you, 47 days, just remember that. Maybe that becomes your mantra. You get a little sticker that says 47. Let me just encourage you. You are that dog. I am that dog. I'm that AW dog. I'm that dude against white guy stupidity. I am that guy that is just tired of being tired. I'm just going to do some push-ups, and it's not about lifting yourself up from your bootstraps. It's about being a dog and learning how to drive in 47 days. Like that, if you can't parallel park yet, remember a dog can. So if Billy the Boston Terrier can do it, if Alex the Australian Shepherd can do it, so can you. You've got to be smarter than a dog. That's just biological. You are smarter than a dog. So let it be so that you never say you can't parallel park, my friend, or whatever your parallel parking is. I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer. I really don't. But China beat us to becoming invisible. That's right, folks. China has rolled out an invisibility cloak. You see what I'm talking about here? Folks, what has happened is China has, I believe, beaten us to invisibility. Now, some people would say, there's this video, check the show notes if you're just listening to the audio, but if you're watching this with me, you can see men and women clearly being visible and then walking in front of, or throwing a cloak in front of themselves, becoming invisible. Now, some people would say with modern technology and video editing software that one could doctor this up. They could doctor the video to become invisible. And I just won't buy that, because sure, that may be possible, But China is doing this. Why would China lie? China would never lie to us about anything. That much I know to be true. So if that is true, that China won't lie to us, and this invisibility cloak has to be true. That I think China is in cahoots with AI. That with AI, they have teamed up to hide from us. I don't know why they want to hide from us, but it's clear that they are doing that. I don't know how else you would do this aside from the power of artificial intelligence. I'm not saying that Chinese people or the people of China or the state of China isn't smart enough to do this, but I think that it's crazy. We are living in Harry Potter world. That magic, we are living with true magic. Now, I always look for the magic in everywhere, but I never thought it would be like this. And I don't know, guys. I don't know what to do about it. Some people say, hey, at least we made it to the moon first, supposedly. But I think whenever we look back, if you fast forward 50 years into the future and we look back and we're going to say, what were we glad that we did first? Made it to the moon first or accomplished invisibility first? And I think history will show that invisibility is more powerful than space travel, unless Elon figures out how to terraform Mars. And I think this is, man, I just thank you all for, golly, just being with me on this journey and just life, just being oddballs together. This feels like a good time to just hop back into that intro music that you've missed for so long. I know I've missed it. Let's listen to it together,
Clayton Bixby,
brothers and sisters.
We fell in love with comedy in a van down by the river in our oddly funny world. We all live in an oddly funny world. Oddly funny world. Oddly funny world.
My friends, fellow oddballs, it's so good to be here with you because there are so many awesome things happening in our world today. And our mission here with the Average Oddcast is really we're not sure what we're doing, but we're having a good time while we do it. And I think that's probably a good analogy for life, that none of us really know what we're doing. We're just trying to do it. Yeah, maybe you got to watch the best of 2023 episode. One of my favorite parts in that is golly, this quote from Ric Flair. I believe it goes something to the effect of it's very doable. You just have to do it. These people that have built a bubble house. That's right. People are using a bubble blowing technique. You've heard of blowing a bubble. Now thinking of blowing a bubble house. That's what's happening here.
Built without brick by brick. How did they do it? This is a technology developed by the American company Binishels to blow bubbles.
Binishels is blowing bubbles to build houses. Is anybody? Hey, if you're a listener here with Binishels, drop a comment. Let us know. We would love to have you on the potty just to talk about bubble houses. But let's hear more about blowing bubble houses here.
To build a house. When working, first build the foundation according to the drawings.
Now that's very important. You have to have a good foundation when you're trying to build anything. You're trying to build a business. You're trying to build your life. What is most important is that you have a good foundation. And if your foundation is built on nothing less than something that is sturdy, that can hold you up when the storms of life come, then your building's going to fall down.
Then blow up the air pump bag like a bubbly.
I mean, I think if you look at this house, this is the kind of house that your grandma would retire in. Kind of looks like a house a hobbit would live in. It honestly kind of looks like a Taylor Swift vacation home. And I think what's so beautiful about it is that it doesn't cost a lot of money. And some people, I imagine, You know, whenever they first heard about a bubble house, they said it's impossible, it's risky, it's not doable. And then the people who created this just said it's very doable. You just have to do it. And that's my motivation to you in this new year. Just do it. You know, something we talk about a lot on the podcast. You know, yesterday you did say tomorrow, so just do it. And I think a lot of people are embodying this just do it culture, like our friend, if you could call him a friend, I don't know if he is your friend or if you don't like him, but there's this televangelist, Kenneth Copeland, the man who tried to blow away COVID. Maybe you know him from that, or maybe you know him from one of his TV messages. This guy has made a film, and I want to play a trailer from his film because I think he really embodied the I can do spirit.
I must do. I should have done 20 years ago.
What's some of the things you're dealing with? We are dealing with the devil himself.
Santiago Sarca.
The winds are changing. We need to be watchful.
I am Antonio Sarca. I am your grandfather.
There's a change coming to this town.
Well, if you try to mess the way I do business around here, I will not hesitate to silence you. You hear me? I will take you out.
He is coming so soon. Sooner than any of us think.
It's too late for you.
And there is no power on this earth like the power of the love of God.
Your God can't stop it.
The Rally LA breaking the curse. This young man, well, I don't know if I should call him young, but this man, I don't know if he's whipping out an accent for this, but he got me sold. I can't wait to watch the Rally LA. I don't know when it's coming out, but he's looking to break the curse. And, you know, some people will think of their New Year's resolutions or maybe a goal or, gosh, just something you want to do, and you'll be devastated by it. Because nothing is impossible. I mean, I think let's just think about this. You know, China has made an invisibility cloak. Okay, a dog learned how to drive, and Kenneth Copeland is making a movie. You know, and McDonald's is taking down Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, golly, folks. I mean, what can't the human spirit do? And not even just human spirits, animals. Even plants. That's right, folks. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but if you can believe this, there are trees that can actually walk.
On Earth that actually walk from one place to another. These trees are called Socratia exoriza.
The Socratia the Socratia excresia. Okay, the Sock X. We're going to call it Sock X. That's an incredibly difficult name. I think we could just call them walking trees. No, this is not fake news. This isn't from Lord of the Rings. These aren't ints. These are real, living, walking trees. Let's listen more to this.
These special types of palm trees walk about 2 to 3 centimeters per day from their original place and about 20 meters per year. These palm trees walk because in the dense forests, they don't get enough sunlight due to the fact that they are calculated to be around 15 to 20 meters tall and 16 centimeters in their diameter. Now, in order to get sufficient amount of sunlight, their roots grow in the direction of sunlight, and their old roots lift into the air and then die. Unlike other usual trees, palm trees have their roots mostly outside of the soil that gives these trees a broom-like shape and structure. Have you ever known about these walking trees?
I mean, it's breathtaking to see a tree walk like that. So the next time you think that you're down and out, remember that dog that learned how to drive in 47 days. Remember Kenneth Copeland, who made his own film. Remember that tree that walked. Gosh, remember the people of McDonald's that said we can take down Starbucks. We can do it if we just believe, and that's the power of belief. And I'm just so glad that I get to really just share that with you all. What I want to know is what's up with these sauna hats. That's right, folks. People are wearing sauna or hats into the sauna. I don't know if you guys know this. I love a good sauna. Anywhere I go, I'm trying to get into a sauna. If you have a sauna, I want to be your friend. I want to come to your city. I want to tell jokes. I want to sit in your sauna with you. I want to sweat, but I'm not so sure about these Russian sauna hats. These like wool. It looks like a bell or like a lampshade. People are wearing lampshades, wool lampshades into the sauna. I don't know the purpose of them, but I sit in a lot of saunas and I've never seen them until recently. And I don't know if I've just been not paying attention to the hats or if they've really always been around. But I want to know if you think it's acceptable to wear a sauna hat. Like here's the thing that really took me by surprise is that so in my gym, in the sauna that we have, it's bi gender, so only guys, only girls. There's separate saunas, and because of that, I feel like people take a liberty, to really express themselves in the sauna. And there was this one man. It was probably his birthday because he was just wearing his birthday suit, and except for the sauna hat. And so there's just this man walked in there, and it's just an awkward thing to, I don't know, be in a closed, dark space with another man in his birthday suit and wearing this wool sauna hat. And I just didn't know what to do. And then he got out of the sauna and walked into the hot tub. And it's just not something I've really thought about before. Not something I'm really particularly comfortable with. And I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. That's just something I've been processing this week, and really just asking the question, how it's just a one word question. How, obviously I know how, but I don't get the how, and I just am so thankful for you all, each and every one of you. Thank you all for being on this journey. Who knows what this podcast will become this week, but we're going to do it weekly. We're going to have, I imagine we'll take another break next holiday season, as that comes up in 2024. But we're going to be hitting it, and we might do some interviews. We might do some of these, weird world activity kind of weeks like this week was, and we might experiment with a lot of different formats this week. But I know one thing that is true is that we couldn't do it without you. And we couldn't do it without this week's sponsor by comedian Mike Heath. And here is a little clip from our sponsor, Mike Heath Comedy. Let's roll it.
Also, have you guys noticed the lack of owls in this city? Where did all the owls go? Meanwhile, our city is overrun with rats. Look, if we gave a hoot and a half about keeping these streets clean, we would bring back the owls. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but I'm forming a little militia. I don't want to say that here. I'm forming a little... Uncle Tom would always say, let's form the militia. I never knew what that meant. It's just something he always said. He said a ton of stuff, like, life is like a tractor. I don't have one. And that sucked for my Uncle Tom because he was a corn farmer. That's why he didn't have a life. I always thought my Uncle Tom was the
Wow, that's truly incredible. What a breathtaking performance. Really showing us what it's all about. Thank you, Mike, for supporting the podcast. We really appreciate your comedy. Thank you to this week's sponsor of the podcast, Sauna Hats. Have you ever sat in a sauna and thought, my head's a little cold? Or maybe you've sat in there and you thought, I don't have enough clothes on. Or maybe you just really want to level up your sauna fashion game. grab yourself a sauna hat at Amazon.com. Use code Oddball to buy another sauna hat at Amazon.com. Again, that promo code is Oddball. Thanks so much, guys. Thank you all to our sponsors, Mike Heath Comedy and Sauna Hat. We really appreciate your sponsorship of this podcast. And we just want to give a special shout out to our friend of the podcast, friend of us all, a working man, Dusty Slay, has a Netflix special out. It's dropping this week. It dropped on Tuesday, called Workin Man. I plan on watching it this week, and I hope that you do too. Check it out on Netflix, and maybe next week we can talk all about our favorite parts. So send in a voice message. Let us know your favorite joke from the Dusty Slay podcast, or Dusty Slay Netflix special. We'd love to share those. Maybe we can reminisce on our top 5 favorite jokes from the special. Something we can all just talk about and enjoy. I think, Dusty's comedy isn't squeaky clean, but it's definitely something you could watch with children in the room, or just, in the vicinity. They're probably not going to get the jokes, to be honest with you. But you could watch it with your grandmother, your mother, or your Uncle Tom, and feel comfortable. I think that's his vibe of comedy. So let's all listen to that this week. Let's watch it. Let's get that the number one film, or however it's classified. Let's get it to the number one spot on Netflix this week. Because I guarantee you, I haven't watched it yet, but I know it's going to be hilarious. I've seen Dusty live many times, and he's a hilarious comic. And let's go out and support this working man. If you would like to be a supporter or a sponsor of this podcast, the best way you can do that, one of the best ways you can do that is just subscribe. If you're on YouTube's, hit that like and subscribe button. If you're on the Spotify, go ahead and follow us. Leave a review wherever you find this podcast. Heck, even share it with a friend. Share a clip of this podcast, something that's meant something to you, something that made you giggle, maybe made you chuckle, or at least made you smile. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to bring smiles by looking at what's weird in our world, and that's what we're committed to here. You can also join our Patreon. You can be a fellow oddball. We're going to be doing a lot with that. We're going to be building, so get in while you can on the lower threshold. Actually, we're not going to change anything. You can get in now. You can get in tomorrow. You can get in whenever you're hearing this. We just welcome you into the Oddball family, because we are all just a bunch of oddcasts, and we're all average. No one's trying to be below average or above average. Heck, maybe we are, but we all know that we belong here. This isn't your average oddball family. This is we are the oddballs. We are a bunch of dogs. We got that dog in us, don't we? Woof, woof. Pretty exciting stuff. Thank you all so much for joining this week's episode of the Average Oddcast. And as always, my friends, stay funny and stay weird.
We all live in an oddly funny world. Oddly funny world. Oddly funny world. We all live in an oddly funny world. Oddly funny world. Oddly funny world. Y'all live in an oddly funny world. An oddly funny world. Oddly funny world. We all live in an oddly funny world. Oddly funny world. Oddly funny world. Great shot.